Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas, everybody. Tough night for the Grizz last night. Playoff physicality, it took its toll. Gosh, they missed free throws, too. Missed a lot of shots. Fall to the L.A. Clippers, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl teams. They are here. We've got some ticket giveaways in just a minute, actually. Steve Arrett will join us in about 6 minutes or so. Monday Night Football produced something that has not occurred all year long. Brian Takis, do you know what happened last night that has not happened in the National Football League all year long?
Well, it's certainly not a blowout because that's been happening all year. I don't know what happened last night.
It was the first shutout
of
the season. 15 weeks, and that's your first shutout. It's an offensive game, too. Obviously. And we will talk Jeff Moore about that. We will talk Monday Night Football and a whole bunch of Titans football with Mike Keith, the last show before Christmas takes place. I want to play Santa because it's almost Christmas, right? You do anything big time special for Christmas Eve, Brian Takis?
Nothing crazy. Go over some families' houses and
you're
just
working
hang out.
while all your cohorts are gone.
That's right. Yeah.
Not working.
Yeah, I'm here.
Johnny Radio's off.
That's right.
Brett Norsworthy's
That's
off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. I play Santa up here.
You got the bad end of that deal? Well, you're young. That's what
right.
happens.
That's right.
I want to give away. We have 8 tickets, 4 different tickets, and these people will be sitting next to each other. But 4 different tickets, 2 sets of 4 tickets. So basically, I want to give away to 2 different families a set of 4 tickets, and they're good seats. I think they're $80 tickets. What section is that?
It is section 117.
I think that's pretty decent.
Pretty good. Yeah.
What is that, about 30-yard line?
I believe
like
so.
that? I think so. Don't hold me to that, but I think it is. But I want to give those to the 3rd caller and the 5th caller. You don't have to do anything but make the attempt at 901-360-8255 on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. The 3rd caller and the 5th caller at 6 o'clock. Friday night, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. It's the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. It is Texas Tech and Arkansas. Steve's going to talk all about that. And I do want to say that I'm also giving away, thanks to the generosity of Sheldon Rosengarten at Marks Bensdorf, I am giving away 4 tickets and 2 parking passes to the Boys and Girls Clubs. Gwen Sanders is coming over. She's getting these tickets. Sheldon wanted to give it through us, and we appreciate that, to a charity, and so that is exactly what we are doing. Do we have both? We've got both, so don't call anymore. It's done. It'll be 2 families and maybe 4 families that will end up getting all of these great tickets from us. And Sheldon Rosengarten to go to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and I know that will make Steve Earhart a very happy guy as well. Last night with the Grizz, I was mentioning it, the free throws are, those are free, right? Pros are supposed to shoot better than what they did last night. That was a little disappointing. I did like what the Grizzlies had to say. Well, they were mad at the referees, and I don't blame them. There was a lot of physicality that certainly went into what you would say the advantage of the visitors, the L.A. Clippers, because that's how they play. Norman Powell was terrific. He had 29 points. He had 4 in the final 25 seconds. Grizz had some turnovers. Desmond Bane played really well. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, a couple of steals. But the Grizzlies missed 8 free throws. They were 18 of 26. So that is 69%. You just don't think that a pro team is going to shoot 69%. I mean, I rebounded this team, even with the physicality, got them on the offensive boards. There were a lot of different things. He had, once again, 26 assists on 38 field goals made. I think that magic number is 30. When they get to 30 assists, they just about don't lose. But they had 20 turnovers, got killed in points in the paint despite the rebounding advantage. And they got killed on fast break points as well. And 31-17 points off those 20 turnovers. So, but, they did produce. They had 17 turnovers, or they forced 17 turnovers. That wasn't that terrible. But when you look at the points off turnovers, 31-17, 14 points in a game that you end up losing by 4, those things took its tolls. Pete and Brevin on the broadcast kept commenting about how this was a playoff-like game, atmosphere, but really physicality. So these are lessons, and that's what the Grizzlies said after the game. We will learn from this because we got to learn how to finish at the end of these kinds of games when it gets really physical. And Zubac was terrific, too. He had 20 points and 19 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block, the big man who gave the Grizzlies fits last night. But just one of 82. They're still at second. Everything is fine. You're not going to win every game, not in the NBA. That is for sure. I'm sitting in the Family Leisure studio. Don't forget the Christmas sale because it's going to end soon. They're going to have a floor model sale. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that, but it starts in the new year. But you can still, right now, if you get there, especially today, because I know how pretty it is, how they've set it all up. You can get a pool table, shuffleboard, arcade game, really special prices for Christmas. Heck, it may even be going down today. Help them clear the overstock of theater seating. They've got fire pits that are 20 to 30% off. Spas are up to $1,500 off. In stock, ready for delivery right now for Christmas. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road, and you will see our friends at Family Leisure. Bryant, who were the winners of our tickets? What families are going to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl?
Well, our first winner was Eugene Palmer. He's going to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And our second winner was Riley Gentry. Both of them going to the Liberty Bowl.
Fantastic. They're taking kids. I'm hoping get them indoctrinated early, and I know that will put a smile on the big cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. That would be Steve Earhart. So we just got you 8 customers. The Boys and Girls Clubs are getting 4 premium seats and a couple of parking passes as well. It's going to be a beautiful evening. Friday night, Texas Tech and Arkansas squaring off at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Both teams, by the way, went to the Grizzlies game last night. You were there. What was that like?
Oh, it was terrific. We had, I think we had almost 400 people between the players, the coaches. I was sitting part of the time with Kirby Holcott, the athletics director of Texas Tech, and Joey McGuire, their head coach. And boy, they were into the game. Of course, they don't get to see that many NBA games out there in West Texas, but they all had a great time, and the 2 big linemen from Arkansas won the free throw shooting contest. But it's the first time I've seen 2 300-pounders, knocking down free throws. But this is a time, a great week here, and the teams all arrived yesterday, and 2 plane loads from Texas Tech, and of course Arkansas is close by. They were all able to drive in, and tonight we'll have them at Dave and Buster's for a welcome party. And then Christmas Day, Santa will be over delivering some gifts to them. They'll have their Christmas dinners. And then Thursday, the parade, one of downtown's biggest events, steps off at 3 o'clock. And, of course, all Memphians are invited to come down and enjoy the parade. It's terrific, and especially with these 2 great college bands. Texas Tech is bringing in their great stallion. They'll be leading them down Beale Street, and those 2 great bands, and then we have the President's Gala that evening where we honor the head coaches' wives and all the dignitaries. Then, of course, the next day, Friday, our pregame buffet, which we bill as the world's largest indoor tailgate party, but as much as you can eat and drink there in the Pipkin in the Creative Arts Building. That starts at 2:30, and then kickoff's at 6 p.m. So come on out. The weather is supposed to be 63 degrees, said some rain in the morning, but tapering off by afternoon. So by the time we kick off, it should be a wonderful day. So we invite all Memphians to come on out and enjoy the game. We'll have the pregame patriotic work, swearing in of the new Navy recruits, and then we have the world's not, I don't know if it's the world's largest, but one of the largest flags ever made in Memphis be on display there at the game. So, and the halftime performance with the Rascals' great songs there at the halftime. So, yeah, we're excited about it. And again, appreciate everybody in Memphis pulling together for a great Memphis institution.
High of 65 degrees on Friday. I think kickoff it'll
Wow.
be about 62, 63, as you had said. All right, you mentioned Santa coming. I remember years ago there used to be a thing called the gift suite. They get to go up and pick all these gifts out that all the bowls, including the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, would provide for players in the game. I was curious, does that tradition continue in the day of NIL and money?
Yes, we still give a great gift package to every single player and coach on the team, and our AutoZone Liberty Bowl gift package includes, let's see, we have our special watch, which we're the only bowl game that actually puts the colors and the teams with their gold fill on the watch. It's a sprint to the finish line. We were boxing watches here at 3:00 last night to get them to the hotels, and so we have a commemorative game watch. Then we have a commemorative game football, which has got all the colors and the logos, and the players all sign those, and those are real keepsakes. And then we have Nike shoes, a really good pair of Nike shoes. Nike slides, the kind of the shower, slides that you wear in a sandal kind of shoe.
Right.
Then we have Nike sunglasses. Now that's part of the Nike package. Then we have a beautiful Nike backpack, and then we also have from Yeti 2 items. A Yeti, what they call a big Ramble chug mug kind of thing that's huge, and then the smaller Yeti, with the straw in it, that keeps you cool. So, but, we're allowed to give $550 worth of gifts. Now we kind of go overboard because that's kind of what we would consider wholesale prices. So it's a gift package that's worth an awful lot, and we provided those to the teams yesterday. So I think I mentioned sunglasses too. Hopefully that.
Yeah.
And, so it's a great package, and the players actually they were excited. They were actually cheering when they saw the Yeti package. I guess that's very popular now with, but getting a really nice pair of Nike shoes, and thanks to Willie Gregory and all the great people there at Nike who are great supporters of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and of course AutoZone, helps us with those wonderful gift packages for the players.
All right, Arkansas, I think before the year began, was not expected to go bowling. They had the toughest schedule, especially early on. A lot of people didn't think Sam Pittman would make it this year all the way through. He did a marvelous job. They're here. Give me a good Arkansas story.
Okay, well, I would say that Sam Pittman, and of course, people around here know when they beat Tennessee, and Tennessee went on to qualify the CFP, they stubbed their toe up at Ohio State, but beating Tennessee was a big one. But you're right, they had the toughest schedule. They didn't play any, tough. They lost that early game to Oklahoma State, but then they had a pretty good finish there. But Sam just underwent hip surgery, so he's on a cane, but he'll be on the sidelines. The last game of the year, he coached from the press box. But yesterday, when I was addressing the team, we talked about how we got a great prime time television spot this year, 7:00 on the East Coast time on Friday evening, 6:00 kickoff here. And I said, so there'll be great television ratings. So we reminisced about 2 years ago when they played that triple overtime game, right, and it was the number one TV-rated bowl game other than the CFP. And so Sam told the team, he said, well, all right, well, we made it close last year, but do you mind this year if we just go ahead and beat the hell out of them early? So he laid down the challenge to Texas Tech, and of course Texas Tech has answered back. They are really pumped up down there in Texas Tech. They have right now, national prognosticators have rated, they've signed the number one class out of the portals for next year. So they're setting it up for the future. They say getting that 9th win this year is so important to them going forward, and they want to beat an SEC team. And then the old style rivalry from the Southwest Conference days when Texas Tech and Arkansas played every year. They haven't played in some time, but and then their coach, really fine young coach, Joey McGuire, as he mentioned, he grew up in Texarkana. We talk about in between Texas and Arkansas, and his family were all Arkansas season ticket holders. He still had his Razorback headgear there in his basement, and he wanted to go to Arkansas, but he didn't end up going there. And so, it was a great rivalry. But I want to say this: I've talked to a lot of teams over the years. Both of these teams are really dialed in. This is no show up and mail it in kind of game. It's going to be a hotly contested game, and the coaches are very serious about it. Actually, Arkansas is practicing right this very moment over at Rhodes College, and then Texas Tech, I think they hit the field here at noon today at MUS. So very serious about the game, as both coaches said, hey, we want you players to enjoy yourself here. We took them to the game last night, and then there was a groups walking down Beale Street last night enjoying themselves, but they're going to be very competitive, very serious about the game, which is great. And the history of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl is we do usually have very competitive, tight games. And, of course, last year when University of Memphis got out early with those 3 long touchdown passes and won the game. So it's going to be a really good matchup, so we look forward to inviting Memphians to come on out. And as you mentioned with that good temperature prediction there, that come on out and enjoy the game. But also importantly is hopefully everybody in Memphis rolls out the red carpet and is kind to these people, just like there was a bunch of people asking me directions yesterday. Well, how do I get from here to there? So that's good for our community, and we're doing this as much to have a great economic impact in Memphis and filling up those hotels on tonight, which normally hotels are empty on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So it's important for our community, so we ask all of your listeners to, again, come join us on Friday, but roll out the red carpet to all our visitors.
Since you're talking business here, let me ask you about the business of the playoffs and the bowl games. Do you think when expansion occurs, and I think it will, I hope it's 16 teams. I hope they do away with buys. I also hope they do away with home field advantage. It is too much of an advantage. That's part of the reason why all these first-round playoff games were blowout, uncompetitive games. Do you see the Bulls being involved in the first couple in that first round where there might be 8 games if they expand to 16? What do you think's going to happen here?
Yeah, that's a great point, David, and that's certainly the discussion. They tried to, kind of make some sausage this year by saying, okay, let's get some home team involvement, but let's get the quarterfinals, the semifinals on neutral fields in the bowl. So I'm not sure it really worked out, and as I mentioned, I'm not a betting guy, but I told some people here, you want the best deal you've ever had, take a parlay and bet on every home team. And that's exactly what happened. And some people got the 12-1 money, but you're 100% right and there's a reason why. And if you look back in history, I'm not quite certain it's 100%, but most SEC teams would never schedule a non-conference game north of the Mason-Dixon line going back for 50 years because they weren't prepared to play in tough, cold weather, and it happens almost every time. Look at Tulane when they went up to play Army in the AAC championship game, and they got kicked out there. And then, when you're not used to practicing in the cold, it's a whole different game. Now, the NFL guys, they're used to practicing in the cold and playing cold weather games. But so you're right. The home teams had a big advantage. I personally think they're only going to go to 14 teams next year. They're 12. And I think they're going to 14. They're kind of moving slowly, and there's a lot of competing political issues going on.
What would they do there? Give 2 teams a bye?
Well, they would they would get. I'm not sure, but that's what I've been told. That's what some of the people are pushing for. I saw one configuration, but I'm not quite sure how it was. But I think it was still trying to blend a few of the home teams in there, but maybe after this year they'll think through that and say, hey, it's better to use the neutral bowls. But on the other hand, when they saw those 100,000 seat audiences there at Ohio State and Texas and so on, the Penn State, they may say, the athletic directors, if they may push and say, we want to have that big payday with a huge payoff there. But I think a lot depends too on what ESPN decides to do. They're pumping it, like, although those of your listeners know, they're just promoting the CFP playoffs unbelievably because they got so much money tied up in it. But I think, again, only that's because what I've heard. I think they'll only go to 14, and then I think there'll be a big debate, but I don't know. They'll probably stay with a little bit of a combination because those athletic directors see a huge payday, and then they tie their season ticket pricing to the potential of a home playoff game, just like, say, the NBA teams do. You know, if you buy your season tickets, then you get a shot at the playoffs. But there's going to be a lot of consternation here over the next few months. But I do think that there's no question that those bowls, like our AutoZone Liberty Bowl, 66 years, the 7th oldest bowl game, we're going to have a great place in the configuration because when you just look at the 125 players here from these two universities, and so much of the push has been for those 3 or 4 hot shots on each team. I give them great credit. Those players that say, hey, well, I want to go try and earn some more money in the portal, or I want to hold out because of the NFL. I don't blame them, but that's only 3 or 4 players on a team out of 100 players. So having an opportunity to be here at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl to celebrate their season, and as the coach of Arkansas said, that college football is still about the families and moms and dads getting to see their sons play, many of them in their last game, but being able to join them for, in our case, a week here in Memphis, 5 days actually, and the camaraderie that they have among their teammates. So a bowl is a special time, and then I always talk about the band kids too. There's more kids in the bands, student athletes, let me say it, than there are football players, and this is their big time to come march in the parade on Beale Street and compete on the field, and so I think there's a real place for the bowl system, and I hope that people don't forget that because they get too focused on one player who happens to opt out or go in the portal.
Well, you had a backup quarterback at Penn State that backed out of a playoff game, so it can happen with anything. It's going to be a great night Friday night. Thank you, Steve. We'll see you Thursday night at the gala.
Thank you, David.
That's the Big Cheese, the head honcho. We'll wrap up his weekly visits next week with sort of the wrap-up of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We take a break. When we come back, we talk National Football League with our own Jeff Moore. He's right around the corner.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaskin and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Because it's Christmas, Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has inventory that is off the move because it's Christmas. So don't wait. You can complete your ultimate game room with a new pool table, a new shuffleboard, new arcade games, or just get all of them for Christmas. Tons and tons of theater seating, overstock, or a place to move. 'Tis the season for fire pits. And all fire pits at Family Leisure are now 20 to 30% off. You say you didn't get a spa this year? Let's say no more. Spas are in stock, ready for Christmas delivery, and up to $1,500 off. These are just a few of the deals happening right now for Christmas. Just come on by and check out their gigantic showroom. You never know what kind of deal you're going to find. Family Leisure. Road at I-40, where family and fun come together for Christmas.
Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road in Memphis, right off I-40.
There's no better place in Memphis to catch up with your out-of-town friends than Bell Tavern, Memphis' best downtown neighborhood bar. This is the time of year when old friends and far-flung relatives swing into town for a few days, and you want to get together someplace quiet, someplace friendly, and someplace with ice-cold beer and signature cocktails you can't find anywhere else. And that, my friends, is Bell Tavern. Tucked into Barbaro Alley, Bell Tavern is tailor-made for being with people you haven't seen in a while, and you get to show off the fact that you know the greatest bar in Memphis, and they don't.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Burst pipes can be real headaches, especially with the increasing deep freezes. But don't worry, Choate's has solutions by winterizing your home's plumbing pipes. Our smart water monitor and shutoff system detects leaks and can automatically shut off your water to prevent even bigger leaks. We guarantee your outside faucet won't ever freeze with our Freeze Miser upgrade. And don't forget about heat tape we can install for drains and water pipes, keeping them from freezing freezing down to negative 40 degrees. Concerned about water quality? The Halo Whole Home Water Filtration System filters out pollutants, ensuring clean showers and pure drinking water for your family. For a free estimate on safeguarding your plumbing system or filtrating your water, give Choates a call at 347-8086. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Hi, friends. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and it's crunch time now. But don't worry. Just because you waited till the last minute doesn't mean you're going to miss out on anything. At least not at Russell Brothers. We have a huge selection of the most magnificent jewelry you've ever seen. Whatever you think would please your lady, whether it's a pair of diamond studs, or a stunning sterling silver bracelet, or a 14-karat gold bangle, maybe a beautiful sapphire pendant, or a spectacular gemstone and diamond ring. We've got anything your lady would want, and when you give her that gift, beautifully wrapped in a Russell Brothers box, you know you've given her the finest quality that's available. For 5 decades, Russell Brothers has been helping Memphis men be the smartest disabled possible. So if you want to give her a gift that will make her smile for a lifetime, come see us at Russell Brothers Jewelers. It's getting out of the wire, but don't settle for less than the best. She deserves it. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswangerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
There is only one family gathering this season that is sure to bowl you over. Premier Lanes Entertainment Center. Located next door to Oxford Common Cinema, the area's largest family fun center features bowling, action alley arcade, birthday parties, events, and more. Book your fun today at premierlanes.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshyn.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Gaga, Radio Gaga.
Merry Christmas, everyone, including Jeff Moore, who walks into the studio. He's given up some Christmas Eve time. We appreciate that so much. It took 15 weeks, but last night's Monday night football game. Last night's Monday night football game. The end of week 15 was the first time this year there was a shutout in the National Football League. That, to me, is amazing. It says, Jeff, offenses are the name of the game in football today. What do you think is the reason?
Oh, no question. I think there's so many high-powered offenses in the league now. And so the key really to being able to get on a path to make it to the Super Bowl is how well your defense is playing this time of year, what kind of injuries you're looking at, and how well those guys are playing. And there's a couple teams that, are being fairly impressive defensively right now.
You actually, believe it or not, I think I'm right about this. The Tennessee Titans, we're going to talk to Mike Keith in our next segment. They're the second by yardage given up. They're the number 2 defense in the NFL. What have they won? 3 games?
Hard to believe.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
That just doesn't seem to correlate, but that is the way it is. I believe the Titans, just double checking to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, they've won 3 games. They're 3-12 this year. Although they're not so good with point differential, minus 133, and they've given up a bunch of points. But yardage-wise, they're pretty good. What's done them in is turnovers this year.
Absolutely. And you have those teams that are good getting the ball to the red zone and not being able to score. And Tennessee's been really good about, just limiting yards all over the field. It's just unfortunate they haven't been able to muster enough offensively again because of the turnovers. And the turnovers have been big. Pick sixes. They're probably one of the league's leaders in throwing pick sixes. That's hard to overcome for a team offensively, and then that works your defense. Your defense does the stop. They get out there, get on the sidelines, and they turn around and have to come back. That's hard.
Yeah. All right, if the playoffs started today, and we're 2 weeks away, Kansas City's got the bye in the AFC, and it looks like that's pretty well clinched. In the NFC, however, Detroit has it at the moment, but they are so beaten up. Do you think they will hold on to that bye, or do you think Philadelphia will end up in that position, or somebody else in the NFC North?
A lot depends on Jalen Hurts and how he's able to come back from that concussion. It shouldn't be. Hopefully, he doesn't have to miss a game. They really need to win out because, of course, they haven't won their division yet. If they happen to stumble these last couple of games, the Commanders could end up winning that division. So they've got to take care of business. Hopefully, they can stay healthy. But I do think Detroit's got a really good chance. They've got a little bit of a gauntlet. I think they play Green Bay before they still have them left on their schedule. But regardless of their injuries, this team has just played tough. They're going to come back after when they lose to Buffalo, kind of embarrassingly to Buffalo, but they come back and win this week despite the injuries in their running game. I like their chances, but it is going to be a tough fight for them.
The Commanders are 10-5. It seems a lock to me that Jaden Daniels will be the Rookie of the Year. Is that maybe the best story of this season, that the Commanders out of nowhere have taken, now they're 10-5 on the season?
No, that's one of my favorite stories of this year, especially, Jaden Daniels going into the season. Everybody thought Caleb Williams was the guy, who was going to really excel as a rookie quarterback. And Jaden Daniels has just surprised a lot of people. He's just not a big guy physically. But, man, he is a great leader. He throws a beautiful ball, and he makes good decisions, doesn't turn the ball over. He's just been a pleasant surprise. And then the Commanders' defense has been stout pretty much all year long.
The Commanders' O-line is pretty good. I don't want to take anything away from him, because if I were voting, he would be my Rookie of the Year. But Caleb Williams does not have the O-line. He does.
He doesn't. And he doesn't have the receiving help that he does. And that makes a difference. I think that's the biggest challenge for any rookie quarterback, is what kind of support system you're putting around him. And certainly offensive line protection is number one. But you got to have some weapons outside. You need a decent tight end where the quarterback can have, a quick throw to make from time to time. Jaden Daniels has been impressive because he's done it with the intermediate passes and the long passes. He's just been unbelievable this year.
The NFC North, between the Vikings, the Lions, who have the bye at the moment, and then the Green Bay Packers, that, by the way, clinched last night with their win with that shutout. That 3 of the 4, the Bears being the only team from that division that didn't make the playoffs, is pretty impressive. 3 out of the 7.
3 good teams. I mean, I think Green Bay is going to be one of the most dangerous teams going into the playoffs. They got experience. They've got good balance running and throwing. Their defense is good. And they're one of the youngest teams in the league, so they play fearlessly. They're going to be a tough out if you got to face them in the playoffs.
So are you saying that the NFC champion, the rep in the Super Bowl, will come from the NFC North, or could it be the Eagles or the Commander? How do you think that plays out?
I still like Detroit. I still like Detroit just razor thin, because I love the way Philadelphia has been playing, especially before Jalen Hurts got hurt. I mean, their balance was tremendous. You know, Saquon Barkley is having an MVP year, and their defense stepped it up after they were stumbling earlier in the year. So I think Philadelphia's right there, but between Detroit and Philadelphia, I think it'll be one of those two.
You're talking about Hurt, and you're wondering about Hurts. How about Patrick Mahomes? High ankle sprain. Most guys did not think he would play the next week. He played the next week. He excelled the next week. He's so tough. As many good quarterbacks as there are. In the AFC alone, you got Josh Allen. You're talking about Lamar Jackson for being the MVP. Many people talk about that. For me, the best quarterback in the game in the last 3 years, Patrick Mahomes.
No argument from me there. I mean, I think his mental toughness, his understanding of that offense, him and Andy Reid are just on the same page. And they get it done with different faces every year. Outside of Travis Kelce, you know, their receiving core has been they've had to juggle a little bit. You know, they look like they may have some really good talent and good speed out there, which could be dangerous. But, you know, he is just exceptional with the way that he understands the game, but more importantly, the way he competes.
Well, it shows you that in the Andy Reid system. And I'll give you this. They had Hill, who went to Miami, and he's flourished, but he was terrific. So what did they do? They replaced him. They got Rashee Rice in the draft out of SMU. Until he got hurt, he was just like another piece there. Now they got somebody else who comes in.
Yeah.
So with Mahomes' incredible accuracy and Andy Reid's scheme, it doesn't seem to matter. You just get a good body in there, and they figure it out.
They do, and you definitely need Travis Kelce there as a good running back. And some punch in your running game, and they got Pacheco back. He was hurt a little earlier in the year. Hopefully he can continue to play well. They're going to need some balance in the playoffs, no question. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher sledding for them this time around in the playoffs because Buffalo has beat Kansas City in Kansas City, and they beat Detroit in Detroit. I really like the way that they're playing with Josh Allen and the balance that they're showing in that team too.
Now you've got Aaron Rodgers being funny, I think, basically saying, I don't know what's going to happen. The Jets are still my number one thing, but I might get fired by teenagers because Woody Johnson is the owner of the Jets that he listens to his teenage kid, which is pretty amazing. He's 77, and one of the kids is 17, the other's like 15. So he had these kids when he was 60 or 62. It's pretty amazing story in its own right, but would you take another chance of another year on Aaron Rodgers after what he showed you this year?
I guess you just have to. I'd have to look at the total picture because he is still a quality starting quarterback in the NFL. Just have to look at the pieces around him, and then you have to look at his impact on that locker room and just make a decision from there. You know, he seems to be a guy that does well and is an asset to your team if you're playing well. But if you're struggling, there seems to be something decisive about or divisive about the way that his teams appear when they're struggling.
They only won 4 games this year.
Yeah.
It's not all Aaron Rodgers' fault. I do think his mobility is limited. He's human. He's 41 years old.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I found ironic that makes me laugh is he's talking about, well, you have to be professional. Talking about these last 2 games, you got to be all in. I'm all in. And I was thinking you should have been all in on those voluntary workouts when you went to Egypt and stuck it up your teammate's rear end.
Yeah.
And I think they remember that. I do. I think that's part of the divisiveness you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's a unique guy and extremely talented at that position. And their teams, I think the best move for him would be to stay with the Jets, but we'll just have to see what happens.
2 games tomorrow, Christmas Day. They're sort of stealing this away from the NBA. You got Kansas City and the Steelers, I think, at noon. That'll be followed by the Ravens and the Texans. 2 pretty good games.
Really good games. Primarily for the Steelers need to win, certainly after losing to Baltimore. They need to get back on a good track offensively. Kansas City just needs to continue to do what they're doing. They're playing well. Defense is playing well. So that'll be interesting to see. And then the Texans, they've won the division. They need to play well. C.J. Stroud has struggled a little bit this year, not been as effective. And, of course, they had a receiver go down that's going to be out for the rest of the season. So we'll have to see. But they should be great, entertaining games, but certainly meaningful games.
No doubt about it. All playoff teams that are involved in all of this. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you, Jeff
Merry
Moore, for
Christmas.
coming in.
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate that. I know you got a house full of grandkids. You're off and running with them. Thank you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Look forward to it.
That is our man, Jeff Moore, on the National Football League. He's brought to you by Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Well, Jeff Moore has been talking NFL with us for years and years and years. You can't match how long there's been a Garland that have been building palaces, beautiful homes. They're on their third generation. Ken Sr., Ken Jr., now William is all involved. And it's all about seeing little details, big picture all at once, and the commitment that they have to making sure they are building the finest home with the newest techniques for you and your family. That's what they do. Go to their website, kengarland.com. See what I'm talking about. It started 76 years ago where Ken Sr. started building these beautiful homes. Also renovation. If you love your lot, you don't want to move, you want the modern amenities, they do that. They do that so beautifully. Looking for land, they've got it. Not sure how to utilize the land that you've got, that's their expertise. Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. We head to Nashville momentarily. The voice of the Titans, that's Mike Keith, and he comes your way next.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Sports 56 and 95 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Quitman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas in Genesis time?
Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and the staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Town Village.
It's inevitable. Rain, snow, and ice are coming and will make driving a challenge. Thankfully, the experts at Tire Rack know a thing or two about conquering winter's worst. New tires elevate traction and will keep you safe. Tire Rack sells only the best, like the full line of Kumo tires. Go to TireRack.com/Colin. Build a winter tire and wheel package for do-it-yourself installation. Ship fast and free and backed by 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe in 2024. We can't wait to serve you.
Of everything that is alive.
To Nashville we go. The voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, joins us now. Merry Christmas. Mike, got some special things going on tonight and tomorrow with kids?
Yes. I'm excited to get out of the office mid-afternoon today. We are in working, not terribly hard, but it is a game week, and NFL tradition is to take off Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And so if we have to come in for a while on Christmas Eve to get Christmas Day off, so be it. That's a good thing.
It's not such a tradition to have Christmas off anymore. They're stealing from the NBA. 2 games tomorrow. The Steelers, Kansas City, and Ravens, Texans. 2 good games.
2 really good games. And I guess I hope at some point we're back in that mix, because that means we're back at the top of our game. The difficult thing this week, we've played on Christmas on a couple of occasions when I have been here. Both of those games have been at home, and both of those games have been at night. So that is not problematic. It's not been problematic in my life. Even when I had small children, it was not problematic. I was very fortunate. For a lot of people, though, if you were the Chargers coming across the country and you had to be here at dinner time Christmas Eve, and then you weren't going to get home until in the wee hours of the 26th, and you missed Santa Claus altogether. That's tough, man. Woo-wee.
Yeah, no, it's tough for all these professional athletes. Just part of it's the hazard of the job, you could say. I was shocked last night, 15th week. That was the first shutout. The Packers, excuse me, winning 34-0. I don't think it's ever happened that late where a shutout came in week 15, or am I wrong?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet. It's funny because I did not have that game on last night because of family stuff.
Sure.
And when I saw the score, I had a thought. I said, "Oh, a shutout," and then I was trying to remember if there had been another one. So yeah, it does seem rather late for that to happen. Usually there's some rain game or something that has happened, or there's some really bad team and it has come up at some point, but not totally shocking. The Saints are running out of gas fast.
I think, well, first of all, I believe, and the NFL did this on purpose because they like scoring, that it's an offensive game now, and the rules are made that way. And the other thing, I started just thinking about this a little bit ago, our special team kickers now are so good that mid-50 field goal success is pretty blasé, right? It's just a regular happening. It's not like it used to be where if you kicked a 50-yard field goal, wow, that was something. Now it's happenstance, and those guys are so good that true shutouts just don't happen.
Well, think about this. So we're playing Jacksonville this week. Their kicker is Cam Little from Arkansas.
Yeah.
And he's a rookie, and he's having a very good rookie year. And his long this year is 59. Wow. And so I was doing a workup on him yesterday, just getting ready for the broadcast. And if at a point in my life, say 10 years ago, I had seen that a guy's long kick was 59, I would have spent time looking it up to see, was it indoors? Was it at a place where it has a lot of wind? What's the story? Because that would have been wildly significant. Now it's like, oh, okay, 59.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've come a long way since Dempsey's 63 indoors with the Saints. That they're just good. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because they all play soccer as kids now.
It is.
Or nutrition. It's just amazing.
It's the training, and there are specific trainers. I think it's soccer, too, because I think the legs are just so powerful in these guys. But, it's not like you grab a kicker from the soccer team now. What happens is the great kid on the soccer team is already involved in football because they know this is a way forward. They have a professional opportunity in this country in soccer now, which is great, but they also get it. They get that they have the opportunity to be involved in season because, like in most states, soccer for boys is a spring sport, so they can do both.
Right.
And they have this opportunity. Now, this is just the way of the world now, which 30 years ago it was just starting to be.
We've had this discussion several times this year, but now as we come to it again, an end of the year, it's pretty evident. The Titans making a quarterback change, going with Mason Rudolph over Will Levis. Is the jury in? Has the verdict been decided?
I don't think so. I don't think it's been fully decided at this point. Be interested to hear Brian Callahan in a little less than 2 hours to see if Levis is going to be reinserted into the starting lineup this week. The amazing thing is that Will Levis and Mason Rudolph have the exact same passer rating this year.
I saw that.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And Levis has 12 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions, and Rudolph has 8 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions. Yeah. So if you're talking about who gives you the best opportunity to win in Jacksonville on Sunday, I mean, it may be flip of a coin type thing for Brian Callahan, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Will Levis is automatically done based on the fact that he didn't start last week. But I do think they have enough of a body of work to kind of figure out where they are with him. So we'll see what that means. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, this is a ball club just desperately trying to win a game. But I got to tell you, Dave, if they don't stop the run any better this week, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
I think it's the run, but you just mentioned 12 interceptions, 8 interceptions. That's 20 interceptions. I was looking, and I was actually shocked when I saw this. And this may be a week old, this info, but I think going into the Indy game, the Titans were the second best defensive team at yards given up.
Yes,
it was under
correct.
300 yards, 297. So I started to think, nobody realizes how important and what a barometer is turnovers are. For instance, Memphis under Ryan Silverfield is 27-3 when they win the turnover battle, and they were plus 18 this year, which is amazing, and that's why they were 11-2. The West Virginia Mountaineers, which had an average year, they were 5-4 in their league, though, but over the last, I think it was 20 years, they were like 142-13 if they won the turnover battle. I can't imagine you guys won many turnover battles with all of the mistakes that you were made. I think that's a big part of the record and only 3 wins this year.
Well, here's the story. We're playing Jacksonville this week. Tennessee and Jacksonville are both 3-12. They are both minus 15 in turnover ratio this year.
Yeah. That's it. That's such a big indicator because you're giving opportunities to the other team and you're taking away those opportunities from yourself. And
you're giving them easy scoring opportunities as well.
Field position could absolutely play a big role. Listen, my friend, I appreciate you coming in on Christmas Eve to do this for us. I know you're going to have a great, great next day and a half, and I look forward to talking to you before the new year next Tuesday.
Look forward to it.
Me too.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
See you.
That's the voice of the Tennessee Titans. That is Mike Keith. That'll do it for us. Brian Dacus is Sports 56 today. He's next for Johnny Radio. Brian, Merry Christmas to
Merry
you,
Christmas, Dave.
your family, your girlfriend. Enjoy.
Thank you.
We'll be off tomorrow for Christmas, but we will be here on Thursday. We'll see you then. Happy holidays to one and all.